Hello and welcome to today's Daily Rift. We are probably going to hit level 44, level 45 today. I'm Stormo, of course, yeah, that's enough by way of introduction. Couple of things to talk about. One is that I haven't actually managed to play the PTR yet. I've got it installed and downloaded and I tried to log on the other night, but unfortunately, at the time of recording this video at least, I was stuck in a very lengthy queue and didn't have time to wait it out. And by very lengthy I mean like an hour and a half just to play on the PTR, so I'm going to have another crack over the weekend, but I doubt I'll get to play it at least until the sort of initial hype dies down. Often with Blizzard PTRs, the early stages, first few days they go live, and the first weekend they usually get packed out, and if you just hold out like a week, you usually get a chance to experience it without too many problems. Sometimes Blizzard puts on extra capacity on the server too, just to handle it, but yeah, in general, I just haven't had the chance yet. I've had a look at the changes, and I think they're pretty interesting. The new sets are certainly going to shake things up a little bit, particularly for classes like Demon Hunters, strangely enough, where Demon Hunters tend to have very, I wouldn't say strict, but a limited variety of options for high-end builds. It's basically with Demon Hunters, get Marauders, get a build that works best with Marauders, so Sentries, and yeah, kick butt, pretty much. And yeah, that's cool and all, but it would be nice if there were other set options, and it looks like they're adding that for Demon Hunters and a couple of other classes. I think Monks are getting a new set, Witch Doctors as well. Not to mention there's a couple of nice new legendary items that aren't set related as well. And a number of legendaries are getting updates. I know the set bonus changes are being retroactively applied because Blizzard feels that because of the time and effort put into sets, that it would be best to retroactively apply set bonus changes. But they won't do that with legendaries. So if you have like a current legendary and it's one of the ones getting updated, you need to find a new version of that. And I sort of understand that, because it means a couple of things. First thing it means, of course, is that the behaviour of the legendary that you've got used to and perhaps built around for your character hasn't suddenly changed without any choice on your part. You can basically choose to either keep the old behaviour around, or you can choose to move to the new behaviour by finding a new one, which is pretty cool. One of the legendary changes actually that does have me slightly interested is the fact they're actually giving Cluckeye a really interesting buff. Now, Cluckeye is not a great bow for the most part, but it just so happens that my other Demon Hunter on this account happens to have currently an ancient legendary Cluckeye, and they're buffing the damage of the chicken that it occasionally shoots. So if you don't know what a Cluckeye is, it's basically a bow that has a percent, I think it's between about 30 and 50%, depending on how it rolls, chance of shooting a chicken. Also, I think its regular arrows are just chicken-shaped anyway, but it has a chance basically of shooting a chicken. The description is that it gives you this much of a chance to cluck, and clucking essentially involves shooting a chicken. Now, the chicken actually does damage, and what they're changing, now that I think about it, what they're changing isn't the damage. What they're changing is what happens when the chicken hits an enemy. It will actually stun the enemy slightly, or cause them to be confused, I think is the actual thing. Basically interrupting the enemy from attacking, so it actually now suddenly has this interrupt, which is a really powerful feature. Whoa, nearly got killed then. Really powerful feature for a legendary bow that otherwise isn't all that. I'm not sure it'll make the Cluckeye more attractive, certainly over stuff like Arcane Barb or Crider Shot and those things. It certainly isn't going to dramatically change the build, but given my experience is that Cluckeyes drop like candy compared to those other bows. I haven't actually seen a Crider Shot drop since Reaper of Souls came out. And given that, it just makes Cluckeye a little bit more attractive if it does drop, and if it's otherwise worth upgrading for you. It just means you get something a bit better for your trouble. with Cluckeye. So I think that's really cool, and I like that they're making that particular change. I know it's not a big change I'm making a deal about, but yeah. And there's a couple of really nice quality of life changes coming too. I noticed I was able to log into the PTR. Obviously I couldn't play, but I was playing around the menu screen. And if you don't know, Diablo 3 is... I'm not sure if it's actually going free to play in the Southeast Asian region, but it's moving to a microtransaction-based model, and there'll be microtransactions for various things. And this is only applying in the Southeast Asian region, but what it means for the rest of us is we get some of the user interface elements that were intended to support this. One of which is that it will actually now be possible to choose your own picture portrait. So you can see in the top right there my character's picture portrait. Any that you've earned up through Paragon leveling will now be possible for you to switch between. So if you don't like the big gaudy ones that you get once you start getting into the multiple hundreds of Paragon levels, then you'll obviously have the option of changing to a slightly less sort of intense looking one. I'm not sure what that means for the banner that the actual Paragon level under that portrait displays. You can see that where the 334 there is. I'm not sure what that will actually mean for that banner, because the first the first player portrait that you get, i.e. the one that you start off with, doesn't actually have that banner that the Paragon level sits under, so it would just sort of float under the portrait in that case. Sorry, I keep saying portal when I mean to say portrait. Or I keep going to say portal when I mean to say portrait. Probably because I talk about portals a lot more in this game than I talk about portraits. Anyway, so that's not a big change, but it's just interesting that that's happening. And what it'll also mean is stuff like the wings you get for having Reaper of Souls. Every time you make a new character, you get like these wings mailed to you if you bought the... I think it's for the Digital Deluxe Edition. I've got like 7 of them sitting in my inventory right now, because I'm loath to get rid of them. I probably could just get rid of them, but I'm just... yeah. One of those things, I guess. And those aren't... excuse me. Those are now managed on a separate tab. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so those kind of changes I think are good. And I certainly feel that they'll just make things a little bit easier to deal with for a lot of players. My understanding is that there are a couple of other changes. I know there are some class changes in the patch notes, but I haven't really had a chance to play around with any of those. And I don't recall seeing any that affected Demon Hunters. There may be some in the notes for Demon Hunters, but I haven't seen them yet. I haven't had a good look at the class changes. I probably will try and find some time if I can get onto the PTR either over the weekend or more likely next week. I'll try to find some time to make a video about what's happening on the PTR at the moment and the new changes. My understanding is that the new zone that they showed at BlizzCon, Seneschal or whatever it is, the Barbarian Zone, Seneschal I think is what it's called. But yeah, the Barbarian Capital City zone, or at least the Barbarian Zone that they demoed at BlizzCon last year, won't be in the next patch. That was confirmed, I believe, the other day. I saw that. Pretty sure I saw that on Diablo Fans, which is where I go for all my Diablo news. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that there, and that seems to be the case. So, yeah. And obviously I'm talking mostly about these changes coming to the PC version. I know that the PS4 and Xbox One versions will get the patch roughly similar, but I don't know if the patch will be significantly different for them. There are some features the PC version has that the console versions don't, and therefore they don't necessarily get some of the changes. So anyway, we're doing alright in this rift. We've come pretty far. And yeah, making our way through. Speaking of changes, I noticed just before that my StarCraft 2 client had a update, so I don't know what the updates are for that. I've not been playing. I have put a little bit of time in StarCraft 2 recently. I keep saying I'm going to make a video about it, but the more I play of it, the more I realise that it wouldn't be a very interesting video. I am really, really bad. I played 3 games against the easiest AI the other night, and I lost all 3 of them. My problem with StarCraft 2 is that I'm just insanely slow. Like, I sort of understand how to do build orders and stuff, and I can get, you know, a sort of basic mech build, well, not a mech build, sorry, a basic bio build happening. This is with Terran. And I can get a basic bio build happening, you know, Marauder Marine mix and stuff like that, but the problem is I do it so slowly that I can't win, because the AI is already at my doorstep by the time I've got my Marines out and everything like that, and I need to learn to be fast enough to make it worthwhile, because what I'm doing right now just isn't worth recording. I am that bad at it that it's not even entertaining to watch, or at least I would imagine it's not entertaining to watch. Look at it, so I don't think I'd make it out of whatever the lowest ladder league is on the StarCraft 2 ladder, because I'm just that bad. Literally anybody could beat me at StarCraft 2. So, and I'd like to be better at it, but I'm not sure I want to put the time in to get better at it. Like, I have other things I'd prefer to do in my life than learn to get better at StarCraft 2. I mean, I want to, but at the same time, I feel like I'd probably do a couple other things first. Speaking of changes in patch 2.2 for Diablo 3, though, one of them is that... Oh, where's the Rift Guardian? One of them is that the Rift Guardian will actually always be indicated on the minimap, no matter how far away he is from you, so we won't have this little problem that we've got right now, where I've lost the Rift Guardian. I'm assuming he's back this way. So hopefully we'll run into him as we run back here. Usually the Rift Guardian starts moving towards you once it spawns. Yeah, he's all the way back down here. So, it's a man carver. Cool. So yeah, back to StarCraft 2 for a sec. Yeah, so I've put in a little bit of time, and I'm not sure how much more time I want to put into trying to learn it. What I might do is, once Legacy of the Void comes out, or if there's a beta for it and I somehow get into the beta or something like that, once that kind of thing happens, then I'll have a go at trying to learn StarCraft 2, because I feel that that would be a better point to start getting into StarCraft 2, is when Legacy of the Void is coming out and everyone has to relearn everything anyway, and it's a good time to just get stuff down. But my problem at the moment is I don't even really have the fundamentals of playing the game down. I need to learn those fundamentals before I can even start pretending to be good. But that'll be something I'll have a think about and do other stuff with as time goes on. One thing I am planning to do this week, speaking of other video games, is hopefully there will be a Dead or Alive Last Round video at some point this week. It'll be captured from the PS4 as well, just like the Evolve video was. So is that an upgrade from my Legendary Helm? I reckon that is a bit of an upgrade, actually. So I'm going to equip that and I'll gem it later. Nothing else here looks particularly upgrade. Oh, that's a big upgrade if I want it. That's a smaller upgrade. It's not an upgrade at all, is it? So I've got some... is that worth switching over to? Because they're only slightly worse and they give me more healing. I don't really need the bonus from homing pads. What's that? That's... oh, it's a shield. I don't need a shield. I wouldn't mind a new quiver, though. My quiver's, like, really old now. So it'd be really cool to get a new quiver. That's a straight upgrade. That's not even a question. That's a scoundrel token. Cool. That, I'm just going to straight up say that's an upgrade. Even if I lose that toughness value on it, the damage more than makes up for it. So, it doesn't look like there's much else. Yeah, that shield again. No. Okay, so, not huge amounts. We're basically going to look for a new quiver, I think, at this point. I am not spending blood shards on getting a new quiver for this character. It just isn't going to happen, guys. So, yeah, that's not worth switching over. Okay, so that's today's Rift over and done with, and I will see you all next time.